as we kind of get a couple minutes over after 10:25 for most people, I'm actually based in Denver. So my name is Kyle Guttles. I'm with District 5450. So share some of the smoke that a lot of you have experienced, but
No.
for different fires. So that's one thing we have in common. But want to thank you all for spending time today at this youth services conference. I know it's a great time to kind of come together and really explore kind of how we build great youth programs and also recognize our youth programs as a bridge and a pipeline for further Rotary programs that we offer. A little about myself, like I said, I'm with District 5450. I serve on our membership committee at the district level, helping with alumni relations. Also a Rotary alumni myself, having been an ambassadorial scholar several years ago. So like I said, I'm really, really happy for all of us to be together. I hope everyone has had fun today so far and sat in on some good sessions. So hopefully everybody kind of understands the process that we'll be going through with the breakout rooms. We have quite a few people, so I think we'll end up breaking into two breakout rooms, but really spending time together to talk about how we effectively bridge membership and leadership from Interact to Rotaract. So how we want to kind of foster this discussion to hear what different districts are doing, but also to hear challenges and opportunities that exist bridging from Interact to Rotaract. So obviously there are a lot of different tracks that this question can take. And so really looking forward to those breakout discussions and then coming back together after 30 minutes. We'll spend 30 minutes together in those breakout rooms, 25 minutes kind of all sharing out individually different kind of perspectives, different opportunities, and then 5 minutes to kind of recap that conversation, come together, decide what each group wants to share out when we join back together and have that one person as a recorder and a reporter from each group kind of share out what each group discussed. So again, want to thank you all for joining this conversation. Like I said, I really hope that today has been, inspiring and kind of thought-provoking for all of us. So with that, I would love to get us broken out into those rooms so that we can start our discussion for the day.
Yeah, just remembering that the people in the breakout room, I will bring you back to stay in the main session with me, okay?
And if at any time there are questions, feel free to put your notes in the chat. We will have kind of a collective kind of, we'll be able to kind of All right. Thank you all. I hope hope all of the breakout room discussions. I know the conversation that we were able to have. I always learn a lot from other Rotarians. Somebody told me a long time ago that if you ever find that you're the smartest person in the room, find another room. And so I enjoy these breakout rooms and these discussions because it's always so enlightening to learn from everybody else. So thank you to everybody that was in our breakout room. Very eager to hear from the reporters from each breakout room. I believe we had 3, correct me if I'm wrong on that. I know that from our breakout room, I will just kind of want to ask all of our reporters to share out those kind of key lessons that were learned, key things that we can all kind of keep in mind as we go back to our districts to really kind of elevate those bridges between we broadened it out to all of our youth programs, not just Interact, into Rotaract, and then later on into Rotary. So Colby, just because I know you were in the breakout room that I was in, would love to ask you to share out from our discussion, and then we'll have the other reporters similarly share out from their discussions.
Certainly, thank you, Kyle. This is a really quick and dirty recap of our wonderful conversation, but some of the key points that we talked about on how to funnel, Interact, and other youth service program students to Rotaract and keep them in Rotaract include facilitating engagement between Rotaractors and youth service program participants, and also Rotaractors and Rotarians, having clear and effective communication between all levels of Rotary, and also make sure that we're clearly communicating the benefits and opportunities involved with being a part of the Rotary family, authentically engaging Rotaractors and Interactors and youth service program participants and district-wide leadership, and making sure that they feel represented and included in the decision-making process, and sort of also providing that extra challenge, and then being flexible and responding to the needs and interests of different age groups or folks in different stages of their lives. Were some of the bigger things we talked about, and please feel free to add more, Kyle.
Yeah, I think that's a great recap. Would a reporter from another group like to share out what your group discussed? Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Noemi?
In our group, we have different ideas, but basically try to do joint projects, use mentorship as a way of going from Rotary to Rotaract to Interactors, have connectors. And during the college years, we felt that whether it's a trade, jobs, or college, there are other interests in that age group that might preclude the possibility of joining, Rotaract and later on Rotary. So have, even at the 11th grade, RILA, change the time of the year when it's held, so we can attract and magnetize youth, so they would still be engaged. And I think that that's pretty much sums it up, I think.
Great, thank you so much for sharing that out. And would the last reporter want to, I don't know who that is, can you raise your hand? Or did we only, oh, okay, there you go, Jeff. Yep.
Oh, sure. So please add anything if I miss anything, but some of the main points we talked about from the journey from Interact to Rotaract was that there's one district where the Rotaractors write letters to the Interactors, and we thought that was really good because it kind of serves as like a mentor program, that some of the Rotaractors answer questions that some of the Interactors might have about the transition from high school to college and beyond. So that's a really good kind of mentor program we thought about. And then just because that transition from high school to college can be really difficult, and all about the maintaining community we thought was really important too. And then we also thought about the forms of communication, because a lot of ways the Interactors they have forms of communication like Instagram and Twitter that kind of go over the heads of kind of the older Rotarians and maybe some Rotaractors too. So we just thought about how there might be a divide between those two types of people. So just kind of trying to get over that divide and trying to increase that. But then maybe just kind of reaching out and teaching some of the older generation, like some of the newer ways of Zoom and some of the other forms of communication that the younger generation might be doing. But we thought the mentor program with writing the letters was really good. And please,
Yeah.
anything from a group of miss anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's thank you for that readout, Jeff. I know to echo what Liliana just put into the chat, if you have any other kind of comments or things that stood out to you, please put them in the chat. One thing that kind of surfaced a lot in our conversation as well was that mentorship aspect. So it sounds like that kind of surfaced across all groups, kind of really needing to assess how we build those mentorship opportunities, which is funny because that mirrors, I joke that in my district, like I was the token millennial president of a club. And so we were always talked about of like the young Rotary members of what we needed. And we talked about mentorship from other Rotarians. So I think that's kind of a good reminder for us that this kind of what we need in Rotary can be kind of mirrored down through our youth program. So yeah, really that mentorship program and that need to focus on communication. And I'd elevate one thing that we identified, and one thing from our district that we're working on is not just communication with our program participants, so the people participating in our youth programs and in Rotaract, but across the district. So I know Tom, who is in our chat from District 5550, is new to his position as the Rotaract chair, and they also have a lot of other new chairs for their youth programs, and they've kind of been establishing kind of continued threads of communication so they can build those relationships to share contact information of participants, to kind of share those opportunities for mentorship. So something else to keep in mind. I love the comment around enhancing partnership activities and kind of just remembering we don't ever want to have a program on an island. I was a Rotary, I benefited from a Rotary program, and there are times when I was participating in that program that I felt that we were kind of on our island on our own, and other opportunities where I felt very connected to Rotary. So I think elevating and identifying those, like Mike commented in the chat around, being intentional about involving interactors and Rotaractors in Rotary. If we want to build a funnel and to show people, the full life cycle of what Rotary is, it's important to let them know that it exists beyond their one program. So it's a great comment and suggestion around bringing interactors and Rotaractors to district conference and giving them a role. So did anybody else have any other comments that they wanted to share out beyond putting it in the chat?
Just quickly, the idea of gathering all the youth programs in one spot and letting them interact in a social opportunity between the Interacts, the Rotaracts, the RILAs, the Youth Exchange, and let them know each other as people and see that there's an actual track there going, and maybe give some awards. Interact, Rotaract, Club of the Year, Interact, Rotaract, Actor of the Year, that kind of thing, with a Interact chair and a Rotaract chair working closely with the district governor, a Rotaract or Interact governor. So there's 3 governors working together. That brings that relationship. Yeah,
that's great. And unfortunately, as we said at the beginning of the day, there probably would be some tech issues. So unfortunately, Eileen and Larry, so sorry that you guys weren't able to join for the breakout discussions, but Eileen would love to give you a minute as we kind of discuss you know, the challenges and opportunities of bridging between our youth programs into Rotaract and Rotary. Like, as we're here, I would love for you to have the opportunity to share your perspective or kind of what your experience has been in your district. And then Larry would love to give you a minute to have the floor as well.
Thank you. I'm from District 5020, and we are on an island, actually, Vancouver Island. Our club is Ladysmith Club, and it's a great island. But I get your meaning. One of the things I was thinking as you were reporting, and thank you for doing that. I hated to miss this session, but thanks for reporting. We had last year, and we've just begun this in the 24 Rotary clubs on the island, 24 of us, that's not all. We've begun to support an Indigenous, non-Indigenous youth conference. And this, for the last 3 years, it's been going on, and we took more of a role this last year in the fall. And it was 75 Indigenous and 75 non-Indigenous kids from the high schools and came together. And, you know, in talking about what you were talking about, Lane, about bringing people together, anytime you bring people together and they start talking, the relationship builds. And that's one of the things that was really dramatic about this particular day. And so for this year, they had planned to do it a 2-day conference, and of course, you know, it's been canceled. But I think moving toward that in some way really encouraged the beginning of the development of an Interact club among the Indigenous community in Nanaimo. So, you know, you just don't know where it's going to go, but taking the chance and putting people together, even if it's only a few, can create something that really we want down the line. So. Yeah.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, that's a great story. Thanks for sharing that. Larry, recognizing we have very limited time, do you have anything quickly that you would like to add from your perspective?
No, I mean, I was in the break. I was in this last session fine. It was the first session I was
okay.
trying to get in, so it's all good.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right, well, yeah, just be mindful, like those pop-ups, sometimes they pop up and get hidden behind other windows if you're invited into a breakout room for your next sessions. But want to just echo, you know, a thank you to you all for joining this conversation. You know, I think the future of Rotary is in our youth programs, and, you know, I'm very, very excited to see so many people have such a great interest in our zones, you know, the best zones that we have in Rotary, the Big West. So want to thank you all again for joining this conversation. Like I said, learned a lot, and hope everybody else did too, and that we have a lot to take back with us as we do our work. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Tom.
I would like to thank you all.
Thank you guys very much.
Stay safe.
Cheers. Thank you all.
Exciting to see the future is moving.
Well done, everyone.
Absolutely.
It's moving, hopefully just positively.
Yeah.
And not
All right,
positive
thanks,
COVID cases, but positively.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Be safe all.